Christian Walsh, Coldwell Banker Wire Associates, here with another big update. I'm not just talking about the CARES Act, the stimulus bill that was passed. We're very excited about that. But in California, there is a new executive order that does put a statewide ban on evictions. So this is Executive Order N3720 that was signed today, March 27th, by Governor Newsom. This does put a statewide ban on evictions related to non-payment of rent due to COVID-19. So this is a big change. The previous executive order, it was still up to the local municipality to decide whether they were going to adopt it. This just makes it statewide, so there's no waiting. So again, this is related to specifically the non-payment of rent for COVID-19 causes. So this is partial rent or full rent. The executive order actually outlines specific examples. So loss of income because you can't work because you're sick with COVID-19, and that's confirmed cases or suspected cases, or you're caring for another individual who has a confirmed or suspected case of COVID-19. So obviously you can't go into work, that reduces your hours. There's also the obvious where you're laid off, you lose your job, loss of hours, loss of income because of the stay-at-home order. So what this executive order allows for is the state of emergency and the related government response due to COVID-19, to be able to use that as a reason to show that you have the reduction in income. So stay-at-home order like we have, knock on wood, hopefully we don't get COVID-19, but if we lose income because of this, then we can still use the state emergency plan as a reason for it. The other big important thing is caring for your children because school is closed due to COVID-19. So I got 4 of those at home. That could certainly lead to a reduction in income and a loss of hours at work because we're taking care of those fun kids. So what is required is verifiable documentation from a tenant. So this could be a termination note, pay stubs, bank statements that show there was a reduction. It could also be a letter from a supervisor that states that there's a reduction in hours. So those are some of the ways you would demonstrate that you have a loss of income. So the landlord can ask for those things, but the tenant can deliver those as late as when they're paying for the back rent. So tenants, make sure you're working on getting that verifiable paperwork because you will at some point in time have to deliver it to the landlord. So this will run through May 31st, 2020. And there is one thing that a tenant must do, and that is in writing, you must let the landlord know that you will not be making a full or any payment of rent due to COVID-19. And you need to do this before the rent is due or within 7 days after the rent is due. So in writing, get that to your landlord. You are not relieved from paying rent. You will owe this rent in the future. So just bear that in mind, tenants, and bear that in mind, landlords, that at some point in time you will get that, that income back. So there's actually, just to remind you, there's no reason to even start an eviction anyway if we didn't have this executive order because the courts are all currently closed anyway. So this is big news. The stimulus bill is huge news. We're excited about that. This is also big news as well for the state of California. So make sure you keep tuning in. Wire Associates and the team here, we're all working hard from our homes to make sure we get you the most important news you need, whether you're a landlord, tenant, or property owner. Come here for your information. And if you have any questions, concerns, or you have a good joke, because I could use a good joke today, give me a ring at 949-677-3466. Thanks for tuning in.